I think we're live. Welcome to the Substack. This is a live stream that I do exclusively over on my Substack, which is Karlyn, Karlyn.substack.com. I do them rather intermittently, so make sure you download the Substack app to always get notified when I go live on Substack, because it may be when you least expect it, and I may talk for 10 minutes, I may talk for a couple hours. Who really knows? But damn, what a week it's been. What a week it's been. There's an overwhelming amount of things to catch up on. I think the last time I was posting on Substack, we were talking about that Texas State University professor. He hadn't yet gotten fired. Spoiler alert for people who don't know, that Texas State University communist professor that I exposed got fired. It got covered in the New York Post. It got covered in the Chronicle of Higher Education, and the coverage is so hilarious too, which is really funny. But like, we did it. We got a scalp, and that was the first of probably 100 clips that I still have from the Revolutionary Socialism Conference that I infiltrated last week. I probably still have 100 clips that I haven't released yet. And it's just, and because it's been such an overwhelming week of stuff that I haven't even had a moment. And then Charlie Kirk got assassinated. And then, of course, I came out immediately and correctly said this was not part of the queer militant, queer Marxist far left. And it wasn't. And no, I don't care that he had a trans partner. That actually doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. And that whole thing is really weird. I talked about that on a stream last night. I'm still not actually convinced he's a part of the real activist far left, because there are just too many red flags for it for me. But you know what? Whatever. It honestly doesn't even matter at this point to me. I'm moving on because we need to keep pushing forward. I literally just got back last night from the New York Anarchist Book Fair. Again, for people who don't know, and guys, please make sure you're following me on Twitter. Twitter is going to be, for better or worse, the place where you're going to get the most immediate updates from me. So, I know a lot of you don't like Twitter, but it is the best place for updates. I do try to do them over here when I can, but I can't always do all platforms at the same time, right? So for people who don't know, last night I just got back from being undercover at the New York Anarchist Book Fair for a couple days. I was around real anarchists. I went to their workshops. I went to their meetings. I recorded them. I'm not 100% the recordings have come out yet because I haven't even had a chance to listen to them yet, but I did try to record them. I got a metric ton of zines. I got a metric ton of their propaganda. It was a hugely successful trip. And I want to thank everyone who's supporting my work on Substack, because you guys are the ones that allow me to do that. That's very real. People who support my work on Substack, you guys are paying me to actually not just to spend my days covering the left and researching the left and delivering that information to you, but you're actually paying for me to go to these events, to be able to put myself up in a hotel and, pay for food and travel and all that stuff. That I fund it via the Substack. And so there's more stuff I do want to go to this year. Nothing quite as dangerous as what I just did. I think I'm pretty retired from doing stuff like that. Like, that's not to say I won't go to stuff, because I will go to stuff, because there's different levels of like danger involved in things. But man, it messed me up. And that might be another talk. Maybe I'll do a late night talk sometime about what it's actually like to be undercover with the far left, and like the spiritual toll that it does take on me, because it really does. And that's not, I'm not making it really does. Being surrounded by these people, it is a very, very, it's a very weird energy, and it really does get to me after a while. And it's part of the reason why I'm so, kind of obsessed with exposing this ideology, because I do believe there is something, I don't want to get Christian about it, because I don't mean it in the same way that Christians mean it, but there is something truly dark about the energy of the far left, and it really messes with me, literally, like on a spiritual, energetic level. It messes with me every single time I go undercover and I spend any sort of extended amount of time around them. And so I'll talk about that another day. So that just happened. And now I all of a sudden, because I've been so right in my predictions, and listen, I hate that it took the death of Charlie Kirk to do this. I genuinely do. And it's almost something I feel guilty about to a certain extent, but it's not like I was involved in it at all. But like, I guess what I'm saying is, the death of Charlie Kirk, I think, has woken a lot of people up, and I have more eyes on my work than I have had probably ever. And I've always had wonderful supporters for my work, and I've always had such a committed community, and I like, for those of you who have been around for years that never gave up, even when I yelled at you, even when I told you stuff you didn't want to hear, like, thank you. because I really do have, I believe, one of the most dedicated communities on the internet. And you guys have always lifted me up and you guys have always supported my work and you've always helped me get out there and you've always been there. And I really do appreciate it. For people who just showed up, welcome. We love new people. But like, I really do. I'm so, so blessed. I've been in this game a long time. I've been doing this for 5 years now. I've seen so many people like me come and go because they did not have the support of a community of people that trusted them and believed in them. And through all the smear campaigns that have been targeted at me, through all the blatant lies that have been spread about me on the internet, for all the people who literally spend all day photoshopping pictures of me and stuff like that. Thank you to the people that allow me to do this. But, I'm not unaware right now. It's actually, again, it's like overwhelming. It's kind of like this happened in June around the LA riots too, where all of a sudden a lot of people were watching my work. And the same thing is happening again, where I'm seeing just a massive uptick in subscribers, a massive uptick in people sharing my content, a massive uptick in views. And so I know the death of Charlie Kirk has woken a lot of people up to the fact that, quite frankly, I was right. I tried to fucking tell you. I tried to tell you for years. I have been beating this drum for years. I have been driving myself crazy trying to tell you guys this. And I'm really sorry it came to the assassination of Charlie Kirk for people to finally wake up and get it. And to be honest, there are a lot of people that are still not woken up, by the way. There are so many people who still think that the fact that I say the word fuck is more important than communism in the United States and the far left in the United States. There are still people who are saying, Karlyn, if you're just nicer to people, then maybe we'll listen to you. Those people deserve whatever they get, guys. They really do. Do you think the far left is going to be nice to you? Do you think the far left is going to follow your language guidelines? Do you think the far left cares about you at all in any way? Do you think the far left is ever going to tell you the truth about what they're doing directly? No, they try to obfuscate it all the time. But I've been following them a long time and I know what's up. And so, I've had so many people come back into my subscribe, like they become subscribers again. They say, Karlyn, I didn't believe you, but I understand that you were right now. Or, I'm getting a lot of I told you so's. It doesn't feel like a very good I told you so. And you guys know I love a good I told you so, but it kind of feels like a really shitty way to get it, right? Um, so I'm kind of overwhelmed with that. And I'm not unaware that you know, I really hope the interest in the far left continues. I really hope people are serious about this. This comes in waves, though. We saw this after the June protest, where all of a sudden a lot of people were interested in my work. And then when the media coverage of the June protest stopped, people stopped being interested. It was very interesting, wasn't it? The entire time the media was covering the riots back in June, like we had a massive uptick in people sharing my work. And then all of a sudden the media stopped covering it and people stopped showing up. When it comes to the far left, guys, you have to show up every day. Every day. Can't emphasize this enough. Every single day. Hang on, I'm trying to get something. Trying to edit something on my computer that I should have done already at the same time as I'm streaming. And so we have to do this every day. And this is not something that we do just when the news cycle demands it. This is what I do literally all the time. I stream 6 days a week. I work 12 to 18-hour days almost every single day. Like almost every day. My audience yells at me all the time to take a break, and I don't want to because I love what I do. I love researching the far left, and there's so much to do. And the amount of things that we have to look into is overwhelming. So we do this every day. We show up every day, regardless of where the news cycle is, regardless of what the current approved talking points are, and we just watch the left and we just track what's going on. And you guys can come and see for yourselves what it is. And speaking of that, the thing I was trying to update is da 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 da. See, look, it's meta. I'm streaming. I'm showing you my stream on Substack while I'm streaming on the phone. But I don't want to listen to myself right now. Mute. More importantly, guys, we have a spy stream later today. For people who are new to my work, spy stream is when we go inside a live leftist training and we watch it live, like literally we watch it live. We do spy streams. Like we're very lucky in that the left does a lot of stuff virtually. And so I don't always have to go to events in New York. I don't always have to get on a plane. Most of the time I can just find out their events and sit on the internet and watch it. And so we are going inside a live leftist training later tonight. That is going to start around 7:30 p.m. And we're going to see what the left is talking about. And this is actually a continuation of a training that we watched last week. And so it's like a part two. Don't worry if you didn't see part one, but part one was fascinating. And I'm not going to tell you what it was about because we have to keep it relatively undercover. But like it was it's fascinating. And so show up. So Spy Stream is open to supporters of my work on Substack, Locals, Patreon, YouTube channel members, and Twitter subscribers. So make sure you join on one of those platforms. Of course, my preferred platform for you to support my work is Substack. And so join on there, $8 a month, $80 a year. I really appreciate it. I am 100% funded by normal people. I have no political backers. I'm part of no political tribe. You will never get any narrative talking points from me. You will just get access to the information that I curate to show you here's where we should be looking, here's what we should be listening to, here's what I think the language means. But you can always see the direct primary sources for yourself, and you can decide for yourself what you think about it. You don't need to be part of any political group to be a part of my community. My community spans the gamut. Literally. I have every type of politics in my community for people who are new. I have everything from there are actually communists and socialists who watch my content because I know their ideology better than they do, quite frankly. But like I have disaffected lefties, I have independents, I have libertarians, I have MAGA people, I have conservatives. Even though I shit on conservatives all the time, the good conservatives know that their own side is stupid, so they understand. There are great conservatives out there that are supporters of my work. I also have, just to warn people, I am part of the so-called woke right, I guess. Even though the woke right isn't a real thing. Everyone knows that, right? No, it's not really a real thing. James Lindsay made it up. It's total bullshit, whatever. But I am extremely right-wing myself. People have been asking about my politics lately. Listen, I used to be on the left. I left the left in 2019. I am extremely right-wing. And so I do actually have a lot of right-wingers, like dissident right-wingers, you might call them alt-right, whatever, in my audience. I mean, going up to straight out National Socialists. And so we are a mishmash of people. And the thing of it is I don't really care what your personal politics are. I don't care if I agree with you or disagree with you. I don't care if you're a Christian, even though I will talk about my views on Christianity not being, what it appears to be. I will talk about my views, but I personally don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, like whatever. I truly don't care. It means nothing to me. Man, woman, young, old, politics. I don't care. If you want to learn about the far left, I will teach you about the far left. And we just have to put aside all of these other issues and stop fucking bickering about things that are not, quite frankly, what the far left is doing to destroy this country. That's what I believe. And I believe that the biggest challenge that we have to defeating the far left is the conservative right, because the conservative right doesn't listen. They don't understand the left. They lie to their audiences all the time. And so we very literally, and this is why conservatives sometimes take offense to me, but I'm not talking about you if you're actually committed to learning this stuff. Like, we actually have to push our way through the ignorant conservative right and the establishment conservative media to even be able to get to the left. This is the landscape in which we are playing in. And that is the sad reality of the thing. I do not have any expectation that the Trump administration is going to do anything to help us because they haven't done anything yet. And so we cannot rely on them. We have to learn this content. We have to be the ones to show up. We have to be the ones to say, we're not going to take this shit anymore. We have to be the ones to know what we're looking at, to go out into the real world, to be able to identify the left. Because if you're new to my content and you don't yet speak the language of the left, you're not fluent in their language, you are going to be shocked. People who've watched my content for years know what I'm talking about. They can confirm it in the chat. Once you learn the language of the left, you start seeing it everywhere. It's everywhere. We are massively fucked right now. And if people don't start learning what they're looking at and learning what they're waking up to, like learning what's going on, we are going to stay massively fucked. Anissa in the chat says, where do we start? Okay, so my method of teaching is it's very much an immersive method of teaching. So in some respects, you just have to throw yourself right into it, come to the streams, follow what I tell you on the streams, follow the content. Even if you don't understand it at first, that's okay. But if you want a jumping off point, hang on. Gotta make sure I'm not showing you anything on my desktop I don't want you to see. Okay, again, we're going to go back to my Substack. You're watching on Substack right now. If you're watching this live stream, that is Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. That is the Decode the Left Substack. When you are on the Decode the Left Substack, go to this section right here. It is called How to Speak Socialist. Click on that link. And if you want to get started with my work, there are 2 classes pinned to the top. What you're going to want to do probably is go to this one first. This is the newest one. This is a free introductory course called the Re-Education Course and Anti-Communist Introduction to the Far Left. You can also find it on YouTube. And this is literally a free course that you can take that gives you an introduction to the language of the left. Once you do that one, you're going to want to do the How to Speak Socialist course. That is 4 hours long, and it goes into much more depth. I will also, hang on. I will also be updating these courses and doing another live round of them relatively soon. I don't know exactly when yet, but I will tell you on the Substack. But go watch the on-demand courses. I'm working on a dictionary that people are going to be. I'm working on a lot of resources, okay? But I am one person. I have a group of dedicated volunteers, but I'm still one person, and I can only do so much at one time. I don't have a team of people. I do have an organization, but I don't have a team. I am a solo adventurer on this particular ride. And so sometimes you got to be patient that I don't have everything at the minute that you want it, but I am trying. I'm working on several books. I'm working on all these resources. So it's coming. It may not come exactly when you want it, but it's coming. But what you need to do in the meantime, show up to the streams, share the content, share items in my Substack. Go back in the Substack, go to the Woke 101 section, go to the Woke Mind section, go to the video vault, go see. I have a massive archive on my Substack of content that explains a lot of the basics about the left. You've got to make sure you're utilizing it. But yeah, Reagan says Karlyn will help you guys. You just need to be willing to sit down and listen. If you come to the streams and you are like it's got a weird text message. If you come to the streams and you are active in the streams and you ask questions, we will answer your questions, not just me, but members of my community that have learned this stuff alongside with me. So people ask me all the time, what do we need to do to defeat the left? You've got to start learning what you're dealing with. I don't want any of you doing anything until you sit down and you understand your enemy. Because the reason that the problem with the left has gotten so out of control is because people do not understand the enemy that they are fighting, guys. They don't understand the enemy they're fighting. I know a lot of you think you do. And it's not your fault, because conservative and right-leaning influencers have egregiously lied to their audiences. And the only way I figured this out is by going into the real world and looking at the primary source evidence for myself. And I've been doing this for years. And it is shocking to me how different what is going on in the real world is from what you hear from conservative media. And people in my audience will attest to this. We watch the far left. We watch their trainings. We watch their events. We know what they're doing. They put it on the internet all the time. When we look at right-leaning media and influencers, it is maddening. It is a maddening experience. Vaughn Cassidy said, how do we donate to the Center for Left-Wing Studies? The Center for Left-Wing Studies is my nonprofit. And you can donate to it by going to leftwingstudies.com. Now, I am in the process of switching over the donation like apparatus. Basically, what's going on is, so I do have a nonprofit called the Center for Left-Wing Studies, leftwingstudies.com. We're trying to archive and do a lot of this work. And I'm looking for volunteers. So if you want to volunteer for the Center for Left-Wing Studies, go to the website, click the volunteer link, read the instructions. That's another way you can help out. I'm going to be, hang on. Can you guys hear me? It says the internet is unstable. Hang on. Okay, the internet's back. If you guys want to volunteer for the Center for Left-Wing Studies, go to leftwingstudies.com, click the volunteer link. I will be doing organizing with the volunteers this week. There's a lot of things I want to catch up the volunteers on. So yeah, you can do that as well. So essentially, what was I even saying? Essentially, if you're new, you're going to find out how egregiously your conservative influencers lied to you about the left. And I'm really sorry about that. And it's going to suck and you're not going to want to hear it. But I promise you, like, the reason that I'm able to predict what the left is doing is because I listen to them directly in the real world. What kind of volunteer work with the Center for Left-Wing Studies? Okay, so we're going to be doing stuff around mapping the modern left, so actually just going out, researching leftist organizations, figuring out how they fit together. We're going to be doing zine analysis, zine reading and analysis, so if you want to read far left materials and help analyze them, you can do that. But the biggest, and there's going to be some other stuff too, there's going to be all sorts of ways to volunteer. But what I will say is, in order to be a volunteer for the Center of Left-Wing Studies, you have to be familiar with my work. You have to be familiar with it. You have to know the basics. And because there's going to be things that I need you to understand about the language in order to be an effective volunteer. So this is for members of my community. Listen, I can't pay you guys yet. I would love to be able to get to a place of having, like, researchers on staff with the Center for Left Wing Studies. That is a long-term goal. That is a not right now goal. It's a long-term goal. But it is kind of one of those things where I need volunteers that are part of my community. If you're brand new, we will teach you, okay? But if you're brand new to the community, you've got it. The very first thing you have to do is learn. And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. You have got to unlearn every single thing you've ever learned from conservative influencers because most of that is not true. And you have to hinge into reality with what the real left is doing in the real world today. And again, I don't make any of this up. I have everything on video. I have over 5,000 hours of archived video of the far left. I have everything on video. I have tons of primary sources. Everything I teach you guys comes literally directly from leftist activists themselves. It doesn't come from me. It doesn't come from the philosophy. We don't study the philosophy. We don't go back and read Marx and Engels and Marcuse and Hegel and Derrida and Foucault and all those things. We do every once in a while. I'm not saying we never read it, but mostly when we're reading leftist literature, we're reading zines. We're reading leftist propaganda that is influential to leftist activists today. That's not to say that there isn't a place for the philosophy. There is, but there are a million other people analyzing the philosophy. I am the only person actually going into the real world and analyzing what far left activists are doing in reality in the United States today on a wide scale. I'm the only person doing this that I know of. And by the way, I say this every single time. If you know of someone that's doing what I'm doing and that I don't know of, tell me, connect them with me. How long has the center been operating? I mean, it's been operating a couple months. It literally, Mark, the Center for Left Wing Studies literally just launched. So I mean, like people have donated probably over $1,000 to it so far, which I really appreciate. I haven't pushed it a lot. So the Center for Left Wing Studies is very new, Mark, okay? Okay? I'm doing 15 things at once. I'm also running a media organization and writing 3 books and creating content on the internet. I can only do so much at one time. But the Center for Left Wing Studies is going to be integral to what we're doing because it is the research and archival arm of what we're doing. So it's just getting started. You get to get in on the ground. See, isn't it cool to get in on something on the ground floor? You guys are at the ground floor right now. You guys have found the cool thing before anyone else has found it. Welcome. We are going to kick the ass of every conservative influencer that thinks they understand the left, and it's not even going to be close because we are already extremely far ahead. So just to bare bones it out, like my community is easily 2 years ahead of the conservative media sphere. I'm not kidding. I'm not making that up. We are at least 2 years ahead in our understanding of the left than the conservative media sphere. So you are at the tip of the spear. You are as far ahead as you can be. If you're in my community and you're studying my work, you guys are the early adopters. We are the extreme early adopters. And this is proven out time and time and time again, where this has happened to me for years. I make predictions and then 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years later, my predictions come true because I'm that far ahead of them. And the reason I'm that far ahead of them, it's not hard. There's no secret sauce. I just listen to what's going on in the real world. And I'm very good at qualitative analysis, and that's how I do it. There really is no secret. It's just a matter of most people don't listen to other people. We listen. We listen to the full context. We don't take clips out of context. We listen to the full presentation, not the 30-second soundbite that sounds good. We listen to the full thing. And we do this almost every single day of the week. And we collect their materials, and we read them, and we analyze them, and we understand their language. And that's the biggest piece. Most of you do not understand the language of the left. You may think you do because it sounds English. You don't. They're speaking in a different dialect. They have different definitions for the words. And it doesn't matter if you agree with their definition. Your agreement is not required. They're winning. They're winning.